This episode, we feature a $2.3 million mansion in the ski resort town of Park City, Utah. It was built by Matt Sneyd, and Matt's a real estate investor and developer who started at the ripe old age of 19 years old. Matt walks us through the house and all the little things he built into it to add that extra wow factor. Let's get into it. Welcome to Seeking Unemployment, a show dedicated to the most efficient path to financial freedom. There it is. What a cool place. Maybe we start over here in the kitchen?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
So to kind of lead in, the way we got this deal is we bought it raw land, so we developed this from scratch. It wasn't remodeled, it's new construction. One of my buddies saw what we were doing down in Salt Lake and said, dude, you guys do awesome modern stuff. You need to do more of it, and it's becoming the more popular thing in Park City. There's this neighborhood called Promontory. You should check it out. Sure enough, we did, and now this is the third house we've done up here. So that's kind of how that came about. It's a really cool country club, 2 golf courses. It's something like 1,600 home sites and 20,000 acres or something crazy behind us.
Cool.
So it's really sweet.
Stunning views of the mountains.
Yes, exactly.
Without all the crowds of Park City.
Exactly.
So it's kind of best of both worlds.
Since it's gated, there's no homes going to be built on this side. There's views of the ski resorts throughout the whole front of the house. That is the big draw of Promontory, is ski resort views.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So when you got this, it was dirt.
Yep.
Everything else was created. So who did you use for your architect?
We used a company out of Heber because they did some stuff up here and they're familiar. When you deal with a country club / HOA and design committee, you want to deal with somebody who's done it before. Yeah. So we found someone who did that, but me and our partners teamed up to kind of coordinate and quarterback the entire conceptual design of it. So I was behind the conceptual design, interior design, and kind of used our team to make sure we are hitting all the different aspects that are key here. So we found a floor plan and layout that we liked and then customized it for this lot. A reason we picked this lot was because it's flat. A lot of these lots are sloped, but we wanted to do an all above grade house. So there's no basement, it's 2-story, all above grade, lots of natural light. Makes it a very unique home for up here because most of them have a walkout basement.
Cool. Well, let's walk around the kitchen here a little bit. What do we got?
So in here, kitchen, open concept. So kitchen, living room, loft, all open, steel beams up in here. We did all walnut cabinetry, floating walnut cabinetry, and then we have these cool 3D tiles that are the backsplash. So basically just want to do something really unique. All of this is flat panel. We've got 2 dishwashers, one out here and one in the butler's pantry. So if we swing around over here, this is the butler's pantry. We did something unique here. We tucked these ovens, the double ovens, behind here because you can't get those in panel ready, right? Everything out there was all seamless and all matching.
Basically.
Yep, exactly. And usually people do all stainless steel and that looks fine, but since we have all panel ready, we wanted to tuck these away. So this is back in here. It's kind of set it, forget it, you're good to go. You got the second dishwasher and sink. So if you're catering, stuff like that. And then also really unique is all your countertop appliances, which usually clutter your microwave, your blender, your juicer, all that you have to take out and put away. It just can sit in here and you shut the door and you're good to go. Yeah, so that was a big thing. It's interesting to see people's feedback because at first they're like, what? Why'd you do this? And then I explain it and they're like, oh, that's pretty smart.
I like that.
Because especially when the wife says that. So the wife goes, ooh, I like that. And then I'm like, boom, sold,
Yeah, no kidding.
So we just did, all Breezio fixtures.
This is almost like a steampunk kind of look. It's really cool.
Yeah, those are the Breezio line, a Blanco sink, just all high-end fixtures throughout the whole house. We did a touch of gold just because that's kind of the new in thing. It's hit or miss with some people if they like that. But we always want to.
It's more bronze.
Yeah, it's they call it champagne bronze, and it's the new flat gold, right? You don't want to call it gold because you think of that really shiny gold, and you don't want to call it bronze because everyone thinks of oil rubbed dark bronze. Okay. So champagne bronze is what they came up with.
Very cool.
Yeah. come over into here. We've got the dining room. This is a nice little pop out. We actually added this window in the construction phase because as we were sitting in here, we're like, oh, boom, ski resort view also from sitting down here. We capitalize on this view over here because nothing can be built in that corridor. There's trail systems that go through all of Promontory. You can do anything non-motorized. So horses, running, cross country, snowshoeing, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So we wanted to capitalize on that view and then ski resort views and tons of light.
Tell me how it makes you feel walking through here, knowing this started with dirt and now this is your vision come to life. So we're actually walking through.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I mean, that's why I'm in the business, is to take something from nothing and or, you know, a piece of crap if it's a remodel and create something. That's a fun process. It's rewarding. You get that good, warm, fuzzy feeling. So it's really, it's just like it's a nice feeling to take something like that and to see all the hard work pay off. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of stuff that pops up that you've got to deal with, but it's worth it in the end, you know? But this one especially, just because it's one of the more unique houses that we've done. This is definitely my style. Like if I could afford it, I would just keep this house for sure. Me and my wife always say that. It's like, when we're doing an open house, like I could definitely just live here. So it's nice, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we do very modern. This is probably one of the more modern homes up here. Everything's trending that way, but everyone does mountain modern. So there's still heavy woods, not all this white.
I noticed that from the outside.
Yeah.
Some really nice dark plank woods and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mixed with the steel in the I-beams and all of that.
Yeah, because in your traditional home, all this steel would probably be wood, right? Like wood railings and wood beams that are exposed, but we went...
would hide them.
Yeah. And so, but because it's trending this way, we're always kind of pushing the limit of what's acceptable, and this is that house for sure.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I know when I bought my house, I was really worried because I didn't see any other like modern type of houses at all. And I thought like, man, this is going to be really hard to sell someday because who's going to want it? You know, it's too out there and stuff, but it's cool to see that more and more stuff is going that way because it makes me more stoked about selling my house someday.
For sure. And you don't know it. I mean, all these, we can go into the master down this way. All of these, and then one thing before we go. So over on this side, we've got a laundry, kind of, not a mud room, but where you store all of your laundry stuff and brooms and vacuums, and then a nice big half bath, and then the 3-car garage that's heated over there. It's nice to have heated up here for sure. So that's kind of what's in that corner as well that we kind of skipped over. And then we'll go back into here.
I like the color palette of the whites, blacks, and then the woods.
Yeah.
It's a really nice palette.
Yeah, so that's kind of the new style, right? It's funny because when I first got in the business, the first house that I bought for myself was all white everywhere, and I'm like, oh, it looks like someone just like exploded a white bomb of paint in here. Yeah. And now it's totally in style, and the whole concept behind that is so that all of your expensive features pop. So whether it's your floors kind of pop and stand out, and your furniture and your artwork pops and stands out.
Really nice.
Yeah, so this is the master bedroom. We framed this window.
The window is amazing.
Yeah, people come in and they're like, holy crap, that looks like a photo, like a high-res photo. Yeah. You got Deer Valley there, Park City Mountain Resort all right here, and then canyons just on the right. So you frame in that ski resort view for this master. It's pretty sweet.
Do you know what's pretty cool about this is the window is high enough that you can walk around naked in here.
Yep.
And your neighbors, even if they were trying to look in your window, they couldn't see.
Yeah, they're just going to see your head. Yeah. We did that for that reason, and then the height of it also helps block out any of the other houses. You just see kind of the tips of the roof line. Yeah. And so you really are just framing that view, which is what people pay for here. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so barn door here. We did reading lights, which is kind of nice to have. So when you're at night, you just have a switch just for one light over top of your head.
Yeah, when I go to hotels, it's always some tiny switch somewhere I'm always looking for. It's horrible.
Yeah.
You know, like that right there is the solution.
Yes, exactly. So we did freestanding soaking tub here with the picture window again, high enough so that like you hop into your tub, no one's really going to be looking too much at you.
Sure.
And then thing I like here is the sinks. We didn't do your normal sinks. We did kind of the sinks that are made out of the countertop.
Sure, yeah.
And then again, 3D tile that goes into 3 different colors. It kind of transitions as you go up. This is the thing that they do down in St. George a lot, a little accent light right here that kind of hangs down. And then again, let's kind of flick some of these on. So this mirror is basically got a backlit. It's soft white light because that's what the ladies always want for putting their makeup on.
Around your whole face.
Yeah, the old vanity lights have those big bulbs, but they're kind of bright, and this has like a soft light, but it's
and if
even.
you come in here, you can see my huge zit on my face and stuff.
Yeah, really good to see every little detail.
6 centuries. These are really cool though. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just a diagonal. I've seen some where they, of course, like they cut out the stone, but.
Yeah, and then big basin drawers is kind of the thing now. In the kitchen, we didn't look at it, but all the areas, it's like these little tiny drawers. Everyone's using dividers and little boxes, those cloth boxes to put in there. So you don't need these like tiny drawers. You want the big ones, and then you can put organizers in it.
Or something in there.
Yeah, so you can organize it how you want. So those big drawers is a nice feature as well. So shower in here is sweet. It's got a bench. It's got 4 shower heads. So the cool thing about this is we did the U by Moen shower controller. So that hooks up to Alexa, your Wi-Fi. You can set a timer. You can set a temperature. And then there's 2 presets of what shower heads go on. The nice part about that though is that like you can go, hey Alexa, turn my master shower on, and it'll turn on, right? Or if you're up at 9 every time, you just set it for 9. And all 4 shower heads can go on at once, which is unique. Usually a valve for multiple shower heads has like 2 to 3, and you have to swap between them. This, it's like you turn it on and you're just like soaked from all angles, which is cool.
That's amazing. I recently finished my basement, and I ran all the piping for it just because I thought it'd be interesting to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And so I did, because I've had too many shower experiences where when you turn one on, the other head, or if you turn both heads on, you lose a lot of pressure in one. So I ran a completely different piping system in each one. And you don't lose any pressure.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you've done a similar thing here.
Yeah, we did. And it was funny because everybody asked that. They're like, well, if all 4 are on, what's the pressure like? And it's good pressure. So it's funny because those things you don't always think about, and then you run into issues. They're like, ooh, I got 4 shower heads, but no pressure. It just kind of defeats the purpose.
Absolutely.
So you do enough houses and you think through a lot of those things. Yeah, and the thing is you don't want too big of a shower unless you have multiple shower heads, because we've done big ones with only like 2 shower heads, and you're cold because it never heats up. So it's a good size. You want to have multiple shower heads so it gets warm. Do a tall door so that it steams up so it's warm in there, that kind of stuff, right? The other thing it's funny that you say about large houses. So this neighborhood in particular in Promontory is all acre lots or larger. And we picked that for a reason, just because it's more space, right? Between your neighbors. But there's also a minimum house size for the lot. So you can, the smallest house you can do is 3,500 square feet here. But because of that, most of the houses in the rest of this neighborhood were built, not all of them, but when we first started to build in this neighborhood, they were all older homes. So they were like 8,000 and 10,000 square feet, like McMansions. Yeah, and that phase is kind of out. Like people, just like you said, are kind of over having just like so much space, and the utility cost is high. It gets dirty constantly. It's like, just to manage it's a nightmare. Yeah. And so with this, we tried to do a moderate size house. You know, if we're 4,300 square feet, it's pretty easy to take care of, you know? Yep. Yeah.
Cool. So, all right, let's go upstairs.
Yeah. So we've got the patio out here, pass-through fireplace is nice. You got covered and uncovered patios. We have 2 decks. So that was important too, for it being this outdoorsy kind of out in the wild with lots of windows, is having indoor and outdoor space. Every house we do, we try to have at least 3 to 4 exterior entertaining spaces. So we hit that here.
This space is awesome.
Yeah.
This feels so big right here.
Yeah. Yeah, and with having the dual windows on both sides with all the natural light, you've basically got
and all that.
Yeah, open landscape on this side, ski resort views and openness on that side, and then still vaulted ceilings. I mean, for that lofted area, I've not taken a tape to it, but it's probably 35 feet-ish. Yeah. So definitely huge. Yeah. So we've got a wet bar up here, which is kind of nice. This is really your TV and entertaining area. Along with obviously the kitchen and living room area where a lot of people are drawn to. We've got it pre-wired in 4 of the 5 bedrooms for TVs and AV systems and all that kind of stuff.
Let's go walk through.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Let's start left. So this ended up being one of my favorite rooms just on accident. So because when you're doing plans and designs, sometimes the ceiling heights don't always translate, right? And I didn't count on or realize how tall this bedroom ceiling was going to be because of the shed roof line. And with these tall windows and the open space directly out there, it really ended up being, for a guest bedroom, pretty awesome. It's an ensuite. So you got a bath.
Obviously, you planned this area for the bed.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Framed that in perfectly. And then basic shower. I mean, basic, right? It's awesome. We did floating cabinets everywhere. Also, it's kind of hard in the daytime, but we've got backlit floating mirrors. So the mirrors sit off the wall, and then we've got lighting behind it, and then
it's real easy to see right there.
Yeah. And then underneath the cabinets as well. So there's LEDs everywhere, so that at night, if you wake up and need to go to the bathroom and you don't want to get blasted with light, but you also don't want to like trip over something or stub your toe, just flick on that switch only, and you get this really soft indirect light.
Love it.
Yeah,
we put similar stuff in our bathrooms, and then also dimmers and everything for that exact reason, because I'm with you on that.
Over here, we basically just have a couple of guest bedrooms, smaller bedrooms. This one here, normal size guest bed, and then one next door is basically a kid's bedroom and or an office. So it's important to have rooms that can be usable for multiple purposes, right? And then that way, if someone says, well, I need a workout room, or I need an office, or I want this, a flex room that can be modified or used.
This would be really cool since you have this access to the balcony.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got...
What a cool balcony. I mean,
yeah, it's huge, huge deck. Yeah, it's like 600 square feet or 500 square feet, I think. So another guest bath in here. And then again, access to the deck. And the reason we did this is so you don't have to go through the bedroom to go to the deck. And
if you're going to have parties or something out here, you're not going to want to track through somebody's bedroom.
Exactly. And so there's a gas line from the furnace that's in the garage that you can pull a gas line up here. And then we've also pre-designed an addition. That's for a gas pit is why the gas line. Oh, okay. But we've pre-designed for an addition. So you could pop this out and have another like bedroom or 2 bedrooms.
Sitting on top of this.
Yes, yeah. You could basically bump this wall all the way out to this jog or take it all the way over if you wanted to. Cool. So the garage can support the weight of that, which is kind of nice.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Is this all wet now?
No, this is all dry.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we're good.
It looks so shiny. So I
can't
really tell.
Yeah, the clear coat.
Yeah, it seems pretty common to have the master bedroom on the main floor.
Yeah. Especially because you got a lot of retired people. They're not super old yet. They're like in their 60s, but they're going to get there. Yeah. And so it's very important to kind of have main level living. We've got that laundry, kitchen. Yeah. So the people buying this house are actually going to use this as their master. Yeah. Because it's elevated and because you get a little bit further view. You can see over this house over here.
It makes perfect sense. I mean, this feels like another master bedroom.
Yeah. And so what we're going to do for them is we're going to modify this countertop. They want 2 sinks. So we're going to do sinks right here, replace the counter, and just basically modify that for them. Cool. But yeah, it's just kind of, again, everybody's a little bit different about what they want.
Yeah, really similar. I mean, here you see even less of the houses of your neighbors. So.
And I think that's the appeal, is like, no matter what, you're always going to have an obstructed view, and you can see over top of this house as well. So the views just go a little bit farther and vast. And then we did another laundry. So since they are going to use it, it's going to be close for the laundry, but this is the second laundry. Whether you use this as your master or downstairs, you've got a second one for your guests.
Yeah,
so
way better.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's kind of the rundown. Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So you tell me this, as far as asset classes that you've invested in, which ones have you done?
A lot of them.
So you're 32 right now?
I think 33. I can't remember now.
Right, 33. I was pretty close though.
86. So yeah, 33.
You started when you were 19. You're now 32-ish.
Yeah, 33 probably. I can't remember, but stop counting and having birthday parties.
Yeah, my daughter just got into her age, and so she keeps asking me my age.
Yeah.
This is the first year where I've been like, oh yeah, now I'm 38.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So you've been doing it then for, gosh, what is that?
14
years.
Yeah. Yeah, so long time. Kind of the short summary of it is started as a wholesaler, so just finding properties and selling them wholesale to other investors for a small markup. Yeah. Did a couple of those to build up some cash reserves. Once we had that, it's kind of that allure, that pull of doing remodels because of this whole process of creating something, right?
Yeah.
Rather than just the business portion, which is just like turn and burn properties. So we got into rehabbing like that, did lower end, like West Side, Salt Lake stuff, worked our way up, started doing more East Side stuff because that was closer to home, and started to build that design knack, you know, and really doing the interior design and stuff like that. So from there, just did slowly more and more expensive homes. Went up to the East Side in the Cove and did a bunch of houses in the Cove that were mid-century modern.
This one's a little over 2 million, I think.
Yeah, 2 million, yeah.
2.5?
It's 2.2 is what it's listed for.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I think the most expensive home we had done down in Salt Lake was like 850, and then we did one up here at 1.8. This one's 2, and the other one down the street was 2.35. So kind of worked our way up over that time period, was collecting rentals and kind of built up a rental pool from there. After doing this and going from remodeling, we did these new construction. We did 7 other new construction down in Salt Lake as well, which were more, price range was like between 6 and 8 kind of thing. Yeah. And then from then it was like, okay, how do we keep moving up the chain, right? Playing Monopoly, and just, it was basically Monopoly of like, okay, we decided to sell a lot of our rentals and went into multifamily. So, and mostly commercial assets. And so, you know, when you look at all those different business models, that's the majority of them through that whole process. But the only thing we didn't really do is lease options. It never really piqued my interest, I guess you could say. Yeah. And it wasn't popular. In other states, it's super popular, and it's not.
Well, there are a few other asset classes too. You know, you have like your commercial, your office space. You have your like storage facilities, and your mobile home park. And you know, some people are really into that.
Yeah, and that's on the commercial side. So residential, and I'm moving into this commercial side, and just slowly learning each one of these asset classes. And so first was multifamily, and now I'm learning industrial, and dabbling in storage, just underwriting, just kind of pretending to just look at deals and underwrite to get practice, right? Cool. And luckily have a couple industrial clients and get to learn and earn and getting my own in that asset class as well. Sure. In the single family space, I did some nightly rentals as well. I did 4 Airbnbs at the peak of it. Cool. But that was highly hospitality business, not real estate. I mean, there's obviously a huge real estate component, but the managing of it's hospitality, and I realized that's not the business I want to be in. Yeah. Cool.
That is so interesting. So tell me this then. This is one of the big questions I was so curious about from you today. With all your experience in all those different asset classes, do you have a favorite?
Yeah. So like, as much as I love creating this, there's a high risk, takes a long time. It's, you know, this price range is the first to fall out when the market starts to slow down. Luckily, we've had an upcycle for a long time now. But commercial's definitely starting to become my favorite. You know, I'm in commercial side for about 2 years on development. I first started development and underwriting and aggregating land and selling it to developers. Then we got an existing building we bought with a partner, have that. But the idea of cash flow, long-term hold, and someone else managing the property, so you're more hands-off, is a night and day difference. And so that's really, from a lifestyle perspective, the flipping and the building fit my lifestyle when I was younger, but now that I'm getting older, got a kid on the way, married, all that kind of stuff, it's like, okay, I've got to shift my focus to being not this guy that I used to brag about working till 2 a.m., you know? Yeah. And now it's like, I want to have things going in the background and spend time at home. And so the commercial asset, as much, I still work a lot, you know, it's not like I'm totally not doing anything. Yeah. But once you get an asset and you do a good one and you get it dialed, it kind of works for you in the background. And as I'm learning and doing my first couple industrial deals, I think that's going to even prove to be even more of that, because it's nice. It's triple net, which means the tenant pays and does and manages and takes care of all of everything for the property.
A lot of times they do a lot of their own improvements too.
Yeah, exactly. They have to take care of repairs, and you just take a check. And so that's definitely what fits my lifestyle right now. So I'm definitely chasing those deals.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that video, you learned something. If you're interested in connecting with Matt, his links are going to be in the description below. He's always looking for deals and for capital. So if you have either and would like to meet, I highly suggest you reach out to him. Click on the subscribe button down here for more real estate investing content, and this video up here to see Matt describe his investing story, how he got started, and tips he's learned along the way. Matt is a genius, and you're going to learn something from that interview. So although it's a little long, it's definitely worth the watch. If you're interested in investing passively through multifamily apartments, let's chat and get that ball rolling. As always, I'll leave that link in the description below, and I'll see you on the next one.